Well, it's that time of year again to get the chimney swept. So first thing to do is to make sure that everything is sort of covered on the floor over the carpet, and I'm going to have to disconnect the chimney and then take the board out and then get the rods and the brush up there. So this is just sort of preparation work. So I'll do this in stages, and I'll put them up individually, but also link them together to make them one big video. So this is part one of the chimney sweep. So step two of the chimney sweep is make sure you've got everything that you need before you start. So I've been and got the rods out my workshop, and I've also got a spare set, so if I need to extend it to get up to the top, that's fine. I've got my brush that I bought the other day. I've just been to check if I've got some fire cement, because I'll need to reseal around here when I've put the chimney back in, and the fire cement is rock solid, so I need to go and get some of that. And I also need to get some Zebo blacking polish to re-black the top and around there when I've finished it. Also make sure you've got some gloves, some old clothes on, and plenty of cloths to actually put down and make sure everything's out of the way. So I'm just going to get some more fire cement and polish, and I shall be back for part three. So part three of the chimney sweep is I've fastened this dust cloth across the fire surround while I've hang on a second. I've lowered the chimney, having broken the joint at the bottom there from the stove, and I've pulled the stove out, putting it on a piece of cardboard to help drag it. And these are the things you need to look out for. You can see there's a bit of soot build up in there, which obviously wants cleaning out. The next step then is to secure this cloth around all the joints, make sure that's fine, and across the bottom, and make sure everything's covered up, and then put the brush onto the first one and then start the process. Back in a bit. I've now taken the Asbestolux board out of there, and you probably can't see, and I'm ready to start sweeping. There's already quite a bit of soot that's come down. So what I need to do is to make sure I've got plenty of cloth down. I seal this bottom, and so I've cut a little hole there in there to actually put the brush through, or not the brush, the rods through, so that I can seal the sides and the bottom and avoid as much soot dust coming into the room as possible, because it gets everywhere. So one last thing is the brush is there. You always screw clockwise, and you keep screwing clockwise. So this is the next part of how I sweep the chimney, not necessarily how to sweep the chimney. So I've masked off all the way around to seal that, and I've got the brush through the other side and the first rod on there. As I was saying, you need always to screw the brushes in clockwise, and then when you're actually pushing the brushes up the chimney, you need to always turn the brushes to the right, because otherwise you'll undo it and you'll end up getting your rods and the brush stuck up the chimney, and then you're in trouble. So let's get some rods up there, and I'll see if I can show you the next stage. So I managed to get 7 rods in before it started sticking, and the reason why it was sticking is because we've got a very, very tight bend up at the top before it gets to the chimney stack. So I pulled the rods out, and I've left the brush the other side of there on the floor so I can clean that up. So what I'm going to do, which I did last time, I'm going to put the rubber cover on the end of the rods, which is what you normally shove down the drains when you've got a blocked drain. So I'm going to try and push that up and see if I can get any more than 7 rods. If I can, it's a bonus. Fingers crossed. Well, I've managed to get 9 rods up with the rubber on the end, and it's still bringing soot down, so that's a bonus. I'm just going to make sure that I keep this bottom covered over so I don't get any of the soot dust coming into the house. So I should keep doing this until I can either, I know the pipe's gone out of the chimney, or whether I've gone as far as I can and it's starting to get stuck again. Fingers crossed. So I managed to get 10 rods up with the drain attachment, and I'm just having a look now to see how much soot there is. And you can see there's a fair bit, and that's the asbestos board that I mentioned that we have where the chimney goes through, and it actually stops any soot coming down. It also provides a better draft. So now I've just got to clear all this up the best I can without making any dust, and then put it all back together. And that will include obviously cleaning this out here and cleaning the chimney out as well, but I'll show you that in a bit. So the next stage is clearing up. I've got 2 small bags of soot which will be going down the allotment, and I've put 2 of the cloths in there to go straight in the bin, and the rags as well. I'm going to have to paint the back of here just to tidy it up. Give these another wipe down to clean them up. I've put the asbestos board back up there the right way round, so that'll take the chimney off the fire. And I've cleaned out inside here, which is quite good, and given all that a wipe down, so when I've got that back in, I'll be able to give that a good blacking. And now I think it's just a question of painting that back wall, and then putting it all back together. Every day's a bonus. So I've painted the back, believe it or not. It's almost the same colour, but it's some paint I had. Got the stove back in place. I've got the board back in place up there. I've sealed all around the chimney there. I'm just going to let that dry, and then I will use this stove and grate polish, which is now £7.99, horrendous, to actually clean that up around there and put some on the chimney to polish that up, put some on the top and around the front, just to make it look smart. So that's it for today. Another day. I have got some more of these terracotta tiles, and I will bring that out up to the fender. So that's a job for another